Hey everyone, yep, this is our Halloween comedy open mic. I'm dressed as a banana. I'm not really actually sure why I said that. This is very evident. No one is getting this messed up.
I thought you were an Asian chick instead.
Okay, Nathan, thank you very much. No one's coming up to me and be like, hey, this is an Apple costume, right? No, it's not. I do like Halloween, though. Halloween's a lot of fun. I do think it's a little weird, the transition from how I used to celebrate Halloween as a kid to how I celebrate it now. You know, like as a kid, like you go out with your friends, you're dressed up, you go trick-or-treating, and like now you go out with your friends, you're dressed up, but then you just get drunk in costume. Like I think that's a little strange.
It's an improvement.
It's an improvement, right? Oh shit, I'm forgetting my set actually. 1 second, this doesn't happen usually. I did not practice at all. No, hold up. Okay, well, it's off the cuff, I guess. No, I swear to God, I like don't forget shit usually, but I totally forgot what I was gonna say. This is very unprofessional. I apologize.
Did you pregame this?
No. I'm like super sober. I'm like incredibly sober right now, and I'm just blanking on what I was gonna say, and I totally forgot. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, I blacked out last Halloween. That was fun. Worst holiday to black out on, I will tell you that, because the last thing you want to see when you wake up is a dude laying on your floor dressed up as the Grim Reaper. I like woke up and I was like, did I kill death? He had acne too. I was like, that's kind of weird. Obviously probably won't happen this year because, you know, COVID and stuff, but you know, COVID's got me thinking like what other, I guess, holidays are going to be affected by this pandemic. And I was thinking like Christmas, I guess, like people who celebrate Christmas and, you know, people who have kids, like how are they going to handle the whole like Santa thing this year, you know? Like I feel like this year though, like out of all the years, it's a pretty good year to say that just Santa died. You know? Like for kids who you want to break the news to but not like, you know, ever tell them that you were ever lying, like now's a really good time. It's like really old, like morbidly obese. He only eats cookies and drinks milk, like he 100% died of COVID. Like he was the 6th person to die. He died in like 3 seconds. It ran a course through his body so fast. I think it's a great cover-up story, you know? You could talk about the elves too. You know, have a good story for that. Like, cause you know, they don't have a boss anymore. You look at like an elf's resume, it's like 10 years of making like a Tonka truck. They just send them to like the Bangladesh or China, you know? You know, reindeers and stuff, they could be like door dashers, you know? So it'd be pretty sick if like you're in your apartment on the 11th floor and you get like a hamburger delivered to you from Dixon. Rudolph can be on top of buildings just to say that planes don't hit it, you know? You guys remember those advertisements? Like kind of old. It was anti-text and driving advertisements, and it was this woman, right? And she had her phone. It's like, this was the last text my sister sent me, and it said some shit like just ran a red light, like YOLO, or something. I'm so glad that advertisement did not come out in this day and age, you know, because it wouldn't be like a text. You already know it'd be like a Snapchat. Like, this is the last Snapchat my sister sent me. I'd be the sister going like streaks or some shit like that. I just feel like it wouldn't be as effective. Like if someone saw that, they'd be like, oh, like they send Snapchats of a black screen with an S on it. Like what made you think they could change lanes? Like, oh, they send how fast they're driving like on the freeway. Like obviously, like they don't know how to read a speedometer. Like I'm so glad that like I would be so embarrassed if like I came up on that like on one of those advertisements. Like this is the last text that Cooper sent, because like I make so many grammatical mistakes when I text. It'd be like so embarrassing, and my text would be like, a boot to rice this bitch. They'd be like, I'm pretty sure it's meant to say I'm about to race this bitch. I'd be in hell, and Satan's like, you can't even spell right. I'm like, oh, Satan, like, oh, it's so embarrassing. Go back in the fire or some shit. I don't know. I'm allergic to peanuts. I get two things said to me when I say I'm allergic to peanuts. The first is how allergic are you? Which I think is, you know, not that weird. The weird thing is when I tell them, like, their reaction, you know? I'm not that allergic. I'm really not that allergic. And I tell people that, and, like, they kind of act disappointed. It's like, were you planning to kill me? Like, were you going to slip me a peanut in my drink or something like that? The other thing I get asked a lot, or told a lot, is like, oh, man, like, you're really missing out. Like, you can't eat peanut butter? Like, that sucks. Like, something along those lines. Like, I was babysitting a kid once, and I told him I was allergic to peanuts, and he was like, oh, my God, you haven't even lived life yet. I was like, dude, you're 5 years old. You haven't even lived at all. I don't really get it though, you know, like, I mean, I get it sucks that I can't eat peanuts, but I can still do like other cool shit, you know? Like I can do heroin. I heard heroin is like the best thing. I told my friend that though, and he was like, nah, I don't know, like peanut butter's pretty good. And I was like, dude, people suck dick for heroin. I've never met anyone who sucked dick for a Reese's peanut butter cup. Until today, maybe after the show. Just kidding. Okay, that's all I got. Thank you guys. Up next, we got Mark Palmerine.
Okay. Hello? No.
It's not wireless. You have to plug that back in.
Oh, did it break?
I broke the damn
You gotta
thing.
plug it back in.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Okay. We're good. I tell you what, let's bring bathroom stall doors all the way down to the floor.
Yeah.
Okay? Let's do that. I don't need to see Dan's 1992 A6. He doesn't need to see mine. Let's get that done. Because you know every time you're going in there, every time someone's going to be looking at you. Someone's going to be looking down under. Let's bring those all the way down to the floor. People, tell you what, college kids, you guys, some craziness. The other day, I see a guy. He's just walking along. He has a cowboy hat on that's lighting up like he's in an amusement park. Are we not proud of ourselves anymore? Is this what we've really come to? When he looked in the mirror that day, was he happy with what he saw? I mean, come on. This is ridiculous. And I'm not one to, you can wear whatever you want, but that's a sign of I give up. I give up. Civilized society no longer has a place for me, so this is what I'm going to do. It's crazy. Hats bother me. Something we got to get rid of in society. We need to get rid of this in society. This needs to be eliminated, okay? We got to, okay, turn the hat around and put it on your head. Please, okay? Oh, gosh. Gosh, you see that nowadays. It's not good. You ever ask a college kid how their day's going? What's the response you usually get? It's terrible. Hey, how are you doing today? My will to live is at 0. What? Like what? What is going on in your life? You had to wake up for a 12:30 class. So what? Get over it. Let's come up. Can we stop the complaining? Man alive. It's constant. I mean, there's people, it's funny too, because a lot of times then you ask kids when you have this conversation, you ask them how they're doing. My will to live is at 0. You ask them why. They say, well, you see, the sandwich I had today, I asked for tomatoes on it, and they didn't give me tomatoes. What the heck is that? What the heck is it? What are we doing? Guys, your life is great. Our lives are great. And I'm hearing all that. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. Growing up though, there's a lot of things that are really awkward, You ever see a kid in your class in public? You don't talk to him in class, but you see him in public. And you're like, what the hell do I say? We see this, you see him and you see it's Jim from 3rd period math. You've never talked to Jim before. You've never made eye contact, but you're in his class. Jim comes up to you and says, hey, how you doing? How you doing? Oh, I'm good. What do you ask him about? What on earth do you ask him about? That's what I want to know. It's one of those things, man. It's one of those things that just, it's bothersome. Halloween. A lot of kids, a lot of people like Halloween. Kind of dangerous now with COVID or whatever. Anybody have the parents that gave out toothbrushes for Halloween? I mean, do I even need to comment on that, or can we just let that sit where it is? Like, what are you gonna train him to be a dentist? What are we, what? Give the kids a full-size Kit Kat, a full-size Milky Way, full-size whatever. Let's stop with the brushing the teeth, with the toothbrushes, with the fun size. We have the fun size nowadays. Let's get rid of that, okay? Okay, and I hope everyone follows that rule. When you get older, okay, turn your hat around and give out full-size candy bars. That's all I gotta say. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, how's everyone doing tonight? Good, good. That's awesome. It's been the worst year of my life, but it's okay because I'm 20, and now you'll get to laugh about it. Before anyone asks, by the way, I'm a black sheep. I couldn't bring the beer bottle or the cig with me, so you're gonna have to make that up for yourself. But yeah, this year has kind of sucked for me, and I know it sucked for everyone, and that I'm not the special manic pixie dream girl I want to be, no matter how hard I try. That being said, no, this year's been kind of hard. There's been 3 things that happened to me this year, and all 3 things initially started out as good, and so far 2 of them have gone wrong. I am still holding out for the 3rd one though. And the worst thing about when stuff like that happens is that, like, it starts out really good and it gets your hopes up, and it seems to do that only so it can just come crashing down even harder on you. It's like landing a really solid high 5 then getting hit by an airplane. Or paying $50,000 a year to go to Zoomversity at Purdue. But yeah, no, so the first thing that happened to me this year that started off as good was that I got a job at the Purdue Exponent. Woohoo, Purdue. Yeah, it wasn't that great, I quit. But it started off really great, and it was great that I got the job because I already had it on my resume for about 3 months at that point. But I was really excited. I was like, I'm gonna make new cool friends, because you haven't gathered by the fact that my hobby is standing up and talking about myself to strangers for 20 minutes. Like, I don't have a ton of friends. So it was really exciting though. So I was gonna go in, I'm making new friends. I was a businesswoman, and I was, my mom kept trying to call me the day that I got the job even. I thought she was trying to congratulate me, but I was just like, I'm sorry, Mom, but I'm a career woman now, and I'm not gonna learn about the importance of family until the 3rd act. But it was going really well. I was sitting with all my friends who I'd never talked to yet, and she kept calling me, and eventually I get a text from her, and she says, hey, we need to talk. Time for that 3rd act to roll around. So I went out into the hallway and stairwell, and I called her, and I'm like, hey, like, what's wrong? Did someone die? Is it something with the dogs? And now listen, I'm not a terribly good guesser. I regularly talk to people and say, nice to meet you, when I have in fact met them several times before. But I am, however, also not terribly lucky, so I think those 2 canceled out because she just said yes. So it turns out she was calling me to say that my uncle had committed suicide, which was really fun, but she didn't lead with that. She led with, hey, your dog died. And listen, I like to think I'm a good person. I like to, but I'm not. So, like, I believe in this kind of idea of, like, the first thought, that you can't choose the first thing you think because the first thing you think is society getting you down. So the second thought is who you choose to be and who you really are. So we can't choose that first thought. And so my first thought was, when I heard this news, was, why the fuck did you lead with the dog? Like why would you? Nice twist, Shyamalan. You've already done that they were dead the whole time thing. Jesus Christ. And so I was in this stairwell, and I was a sobbing mess. And at that point, I could either take the long way home and leave through the stairwell. I could take the short way out and just throw myself down them. Too soon, maybe, but he wasn't your uncle, so I don't get why you're complaining. The problem with all this was that I had all of my stuff still in the room, dead center, because I had to be the center of attention. So I had to go back in there, and I was a sobbing, like, snotty mess. Like, I had, like, these mascara tracks down my face, like it was police tape, so that way people knew, like, hey, here's where the tears are, gang. Just want to make sure you look out for those. And I managed to make it into the bathroom, clean myself up. I come back out, And I managed to grab my stuff, and I was thinking, like, I'm gonna make a clean getaway. Like, this is my Ocean's 11. I'm really excited. And then this girl, this very sweet and very, very inconvenient girl, noticed that I was maybe looking a little bit bummed. And so she asked the one thing that you do not ask someone who is trying to hold back tears, which is, "Are you okay?" Now, you know what I said about the first thought. My first thought was probably not nice, but what I wanted to say to her was, "Dear work associate, worry not, I am going to be taking my leave for the evening, but I shall be returning on the morrow with new compelling stories for the Purdue exponent. Thank you and good day, ma'am." But sometimes, you know, we don't get to choose the second thought either. So, instead of saying that, I just said, "My doggy died, and my uncle committed suicide. I probably should have led with that one." And to this day, I still don't think that I'm the person who suffered the most in that scenario, because everyone there had never met me, and all they had to go off of was, "Hey, isn't that chick that applied to this job saying she'd already been working here for 3 months?" That being said, the second bad thing that happened to this year was that my parents got divorced. And if you're wondering how that started off as a good thing, my mom broached me by saying, "Hey, how'd you like 2 Christmases?"
Oh man.
But yeah, it's weird when your parents get divorced and you're in college, because usually, like, when you're in college and you come back home, they're like, "Hey, you know, we turned your childhood bedroom into a gym." But now it's like, "Hey, we turned your childhood bedroom into a gym and your childhood home into a husk of broken promises and empty dreams." And if you'd like to see what we did with the bedroom, we've rendered our marital bed into a pile of ashes. Okay, one minute left. Only other thing I have to say then, just so I don't cut this short, is that I'm gonna ruin every single skit that comes after me now by saying that the more a guy talks about his dick, typically the smaller it is. And I am not going and I am not going to talk about my dick at all, so make of that what you will. Thank you all.
Alright, so it's not just my first time here on the stage, it's my first time here at Purdue. I mean, you know, I'm a newbie, I'm a freshie, right? And you know, I gotta say I like it here. It's a pretty nice place, but that doesn't mean, you know, Purdue's without its fair share of peeves, so to speak, right? You know, just take the hall example, right? So I'm over in Hawkins Hall. This is my time in the residence hall, right? And you know, each floor has its own group chat. So there's a huge disparity, right, between like the people who are trying to like manage the group chat and the people in the group chat. Like on the one hand, you got like the RAs who are just like, "Hey, you know, how about some bonding activities? Let's play some Among Us or whatever." And then you got my friend who's like, "Whoever had the brilliant idea to wipe with the starting kit alcohol wipes and tried to flush them and the package that they came in, I hope that 15% alcohol burned your rear end." Yeah, I gotta say, man, fuck whoever did that. I gotta agree with him. Like, he deserves a call. How drunk do you have to be to throw a whole goddamn package into the toilet and then try to flush it? I mean, you have to take the alcohol wipes out, take out every single wipe, throw it in there, then the package, man. And not just that, the trash can is a lot closer than any toilet actually is. So you have to go in there, open the door, and then try to flush it. What? That's not even an excuse, man. Talk to, in terms of other things I found the toilet, what is with people and not flushing the goddamn toilet around here, man? The last thing I'm trying to see, when the first thing I get up when I'm like half hungover with like a mouthful of morning breath, is another man's fecal matter. And what did I find when I woke up in the morning and I tried to go to the bathroom to brush my teeth? I see an entire toilet bowl full of pee-pee poo-poo, man. It's filled to the brim with like shit and piss. Well, that's not the kind of sausage I'm talking about when I say I want to see a sausage every morning, man.
Oof.
Alright, to the guy who walks to his room from the shower in nothing but his undies, please don't. It is, in fact, a communal space. At least put on a towel, lol. Yeah, I gotta give it to him there, man. I'm there too. I mean, you know, I gotta say, sometimes I have trouble hiding my boners too, so that's kind of a problem. Now that being said, that being said, right, that's not my only problem. Aside from all our bathroom troubles, there's just the people on campus too, right? You know what's the most annoying thing? Revers. You know, like those assholes, like, you know, when I'm fucking walking back from Wiley with my fucking 2 meals because I need to walk a mile and I can't handle cardio, right? The last thing I want to hear is some motherfucker in his 2002 sensible sedan revving it up like he's in a Fast and Furious movie. Oh yeah, 1v1 me, bitch. Well, this thing can go 0 to 60 in 2 hours. I'm so good. Fuck you, man. You're like the human equivalent of AIDS. You get everywhere. You're impossible to get rid of, and you spread through white stuff. Except in this time, the stuff is people. I mean, come on. These are the kind of guys who probably like look in the mirror every morning, jerk off into their hands, and rub it in their hair and use its hair gel. They probably look in the mirror, man, and get it all up. Oh yeah, get it all up in there, man. If 6 of them got into a pool, it's not a pool anymore. It's a semen stew. So, okay. Now, while we're talking about Fast and Furious, right? I can't fault everything I produce well, because some of this stuff's my fault. The other day, I ended up in urgent care a couple weeks ago, man. And like, cause I'm allergic to peanuts. Remember what like Cooper said about being allergic to peanuts, right? That happened to me. So I come home from like from CVS. I'm looking a little swollen. Like, oh yeah, I should probably shoot myself, right? So I shoot myself in the leg, do my thing. I call an Uber to go over to the urgent care, right? So the guy's playing a movie. It's a Transformers movie. Transformers is like a movie where Shia LaBeouf left after the first movie, right? So I'm like, oh man, I like Shia, I thought he was pretty good. I wonder why he left. He's like, oh yeah, I think he got tired. A lot of actors do that, Like Paul Walker, he did that with the Fast and Furious franchise. I'm like, wait, Paul Walker? Like Fast and Furious Paul Walker? Like the guy who died? He's like, yeah. I mean, have you? There's a YouTube video on it. He faked his own death. If you look at the headlights, those weren't the same headlights or something. So I'm like, okay, where do you think he is? Well, his wife and his daughter disappeared off the face of the earth, so he's probably off the grid. So I'm like, oh, you think he's in Cuba with Tupac? So he's like, yeah, no, man. If you look at Tupac, I think he did it too. The autopsy on his body, he didn't have Thug Life tattooed on his chest. Tupac did have Thug Life tattooed on his chest. So I'm like, okay, so you think that's how 2020 is gonna end? President Tupac is gonna come back from Cuba and release a diss track on the U.S. That's how this whole mess of a year is gonna end. Oh yeah, I could see that happening. Interesting. Anyways, I gave him 5 stars for great conversation, but that's not the point. So the story doesn't end there, because while I was in there, right, they actually had to shoot me. They had to give me like a steroid shot, right? So like, okay, yeah, we got to do it in the glute. And they're like, oh, why not do it in the arm? Nah, you're not that big. And I'm like, well, shit, I know it's been a week and a half since I hit the gym. You didn't have to rub it in that hard, right? So I got shot in the ass with a steroid, but suffice to say, my right buttock was not the only thing that got hurt in that room. So that kind of hurt, man. But I mean, for all my complaints about Purdue, I gotta say it's kind of a step up from my high school, right? Because I liked my high school, right? But it's weird. So like those douchebags who are like, in their 40s and like they peaked in high school. Their one defining trait is that they went to some certain high school. Like those assholes who wear Letterman jackets in their 40s or take a picture in the cheerleader outfits, be like, it still fits after like stitching it together a couple 100 times. Well, there's like that in my school, except worse, right? So there's this thing called the Alumni Action Group. And there's a whole political climate going on, yada, yada, yada. And that's what they're talking about, right? So look at the board of directors of that thing. Two of those guys graduated in the year 2000. The president graduated in the year 1995. That's a different eon. This was 1990. This was the 20th century. We are in the 21st century. And then like, okay, so let's just take a look at the guys in 2000s, right? I mean, 2000, it was a pretty monumental year. I mean, the world didn't end according to the Mayans. Eminem dropped the real Slim Shady. And Johnny fucking unironically argued with 16-year-olds on Facebook graduated from high school. That's got to be the most important one. Yeah, I'm not even kidding. You'll see these people arguing with 16-year-olds. And they'll be like, what purpose does this serve? You're on Facebook, not even Snap. You're on the old man's social media. What is wrong with you? Go diddle some squirrels or something. At least you're like, that's more useful, because like, at least if you diddle squirrels, they're not going to be able to reproduce. And those rabies-having motherfuckers, no, I can't have them eating my pumpkins anymore, man. So while we're talking, okay, so I got one more thing. So while we're talking about reproduction, right, let's talk about some STDs, because that's kind of like, that's the thing with college, right? So, we're talking about STDs, but we're not just talking about STD, we're talking about COVID. COVID the STD. Yeah, I have a theory, right? I think COVID's actually an STD, and this is something the CDC doesn't want you to know, but if you think about it, right? When it comes down to it, just take a look at the presidential debate, right? Trump and his wife came out of it with COVID. Biden didn't come out of it with COVID. You know, when he was telling Trump to shut up, you think he was saying, oh, he was trying to protect a woman. No. But you know what? Trump had sex with his wife. Do you think Biden had sex with Trump? No. But Biden didn't come out with COVID, and Trump did. Kellyanne Conway came out with COVID. Trump probably had boned her at one point or another, or Melania. It's 2020. And like, you know, the Republican Party, aren't they like really well, okay, the really alt-right people, they're supposed to be like homophobic, right? But they also have the most number of COVID cases. So in psychology, there's like this, there's this psychological term called projection, right? Where basically, you're basically saying like, okay, if someone accuses you, someone like, no, that's not me, but I think this person, that could be the case. That's what I'm thinking here too. It all makes sense because they're secretly suppressing that they're all gay. That's how COVID spread between them. They boned each other, man. COVID is an STD. That's how the alt-right people got STDs, man. That's how they all got COVID. It's the new AIDS. That's what the CDC doesn't want. I should not have told you this. I'm really sorry, man, because I don't think the CDC wants you to know this. So while you're walking home, you might get slant knifed from some CDC lab coat wearing motherfucker. But if that happens, I'm sorry, man. But I needed to get it out. And that's all I have for you. Watch your backs tonight. Thank you.
Woo!
This isn't part of my set, but I feel like you guys should know ahead of time. I was expecting a lot more women to be here. Generally, the women to like penis enactment ratio is like really high. Just in case you guys haven't been to one of these before. So I'm gonna start now. So this year, instead of going as something scary, I thought I'd go as something scared. A Purdue engineering student. I briefly considered going into comedy instead, but I just couldn't figure out a way to insult and sexualize women without also insulting and sexualizing myself. It's always such a bummer. If you didn't get that joke, you might by the end of the night, or you might be a guy. Yeah, that's why I gave up my dream of going into comedy and becoming president. Yeah, last time all the guys thought I'd be the one person not to make any sexist jokes, so I figured I'd go all in and do every sexist joke this time. Yeah, I'm involved in a lot of male-dominated activities. No, that is not the joke. For instance, I'm involved in aerospace engineering. I'm in the jazz band, and I was admitted to Purdue. One occupation where I think having a greater number of women would really make positive social impact is serial killing. When I tell people this, as I do very often because I'm a real strong advocate, they often act surprised, and I find that really sexist, because if I was talking about guys, you would basically expect me to bring up serial killing. Like, you'd pretty much demand it, right? I think female serial killers really serve a niche in the fight for equality. Like, whereas men generally target young women, female serial killers are much more open-minded about who they kill. Like, they kill with much less regard for race, gender, and whether or not they've had the chance to rape them yet. Male and female serial killers also have very different motives. Men generally tend to kill women because they're attracted to them and because that logic just makes sense. Whereas female killers generally have a much broader range of motives, like money. And if you have a hard time remembering that males kill for lust, women kill for money, just remember it's the same as marriage. Marriage, taking the life out of someone, I mean, more or less the same, right? Women are also much more likely to get to know their victims, and I think that's just better customer service, you know? Much more personal that way. As an aspiring female serial killer myself, I really find the greats like Amelia Dyer and Hillary Clinton really inspirational, you know? I started reading up on Amelia Dyer. She is a real serial killer, by the way, and man, she was just straight up crazy, obviously. Basically, in the 1800s, she started advertising this babysitting business and then just go and kill the kids. That part she didn't advertise. People then noticed that all these kids were dying, and she was then sentenced to 6 months of hard labor. She then, after released, started killing babies again and throwing them in a river. It's estimated she killed hundreds of babies this way. That's insane. And she only got 6 months of hard labor. Like, African Americans just came from the wrong continent, and we gave them 200 years. That was even after slavery, too, guys. Could you imagine if someone killed that many babies today, what we'd do to them? We'd probably call them a Democrat. I would like to remind everyone that this is, in fact, a comedy show, and to vote for me for president 2016, yeah!
Whoa, yeah, man. We really, turned this stage. We really started, here, and then we just kept slowly turning the stage over this way. Pretty soon we'll have gone full circle. Yeah, we have a little more people out here too, but maybe that's just related to the jokes. Hello everybody, my name is Nathan Sanders and I am an aerospace engineer because I wanted to learn the dynamics of sticking my arm out the window on the highway. Whoosh, calculating all those dynamics. Oh man, I really decided to dress up for Halloween this year. Anyone know who I am? Really? Really? No one? I mean, I just introduced myself, so that's kind of depressing. Yeah, I can't remember much stuff either. That's why I got this sheet. It'd be great if I could read. I don't know how they let me into Purdue. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Anyone here going to a Halloween party? Trick question. I'm part of the Dean of Students. You're all nervous. That was a good response to that. Oh, yeah. Nope. It's this way. Okay. You know what sucks? Everything. Some people say it could have been worse, though. Say so could be worse. I mean, worse. Look around you, Helen. We're on the threshold of hell. My dad says, though, to always look forward. You know, when one door closes, another one opens, and he, doggone it, is the best revolving door repairman I know. The difference between this Halloween and every other Halloween is that this Halloween, everyone's wearing a mask. It could be more scary if I didn't wear a mask, or I could dress up as a police person, but we wouldn't want that. It's probably because, we live in a society that nobody wants to get caught with their mask down. So they added more dots in the dining courts. Anyone gone there? They had all the in-between social distancing dots, because the virus is now less contagious than it was before. Completely, yes. Ooh, yeah, oh yeah. Uh-huh. No, not at all. Okay. I think I just figured out, I think my jokes are a lot like COVID. A lot of people get the jokes, but like that guy, not many people show symptoms. I mean, I recently, actually just today, got an email in my mailbox about the random testing thing, and I think that's completely ridiculous that they would ever think anything like that. I mean, we all know that these masks must be working so well because obviously, why else wouldn't everyone get it? I mean, yeah. Whew, man. Oh yeah, I recently bought a boosted board and a scooter and a plasma TV and a car stereo. Yeah, see, one guy gets it. It's probably just because nobody's been using the term boosted in that sense since the 80s, which I think is totally bogus, right, Wayne? Yeah. My relatives typically come over for Christmas, and it's pretty fun, but they stay a few days and they bring their 3 small children, which that's great too. The The only problem is they're kind of a bit of a handful, or a dump truck full. And for whatever reason, whenever they wake up from a nap, they start crying. I don't know why, but I kind of understand too, because I also feel like crying when I wake up. I don't want to wake up. Oh, Purdue engineering. I don't want to see my WebEx. I just want to dynamics. On a completely unrelated note, my family is installing soundproofing in one of our rooms. My family quotes Christmas Vacation all the time, all year long, quote movies, just way too much. And if you haven't seen Christmas Vacation, oh wow, okay, yeah, I see it. If you haven't seen Christmas Vacation, it's the gift that keeps on giving. For all of those that can't see the video, yeah, people are just now leaving, but I mean, I can understand it too. I mean, there's like movies going on there, which are probably more funny, and it's probably a drama too. Yeah, I found out recently why it's called grade scope. It's because it snipes my grade with precision. Yeah. People also say that they reduced the options at the dining courts, which I don't really think is true, because now we have on-the-go food, and we also have food that's on the go. So that's like on-the-go squared, which I'm pretty sure is like 4 times as much or something. I mean, they keep asking me, do you want a tossed side salad? We both know where that's going. It's going to be tossed. All right, thank you all for that. I appreciate it.
Woo. Excellent. All right. Already, man. I like this costume because, like, I'm dressed as Wayne from Wayne's World, but if I take the hat off, I'm Louis C.K. from 2014. And if I take the pants off, I'm Louis C.K. now. That would suck if, like, Louis C.K. was, like, trick-or-treating at your door. Like, you're, like, fully expecting, like, some kid in an Elsa costume, and it's just, like, a balding ginger man just, like, jerking off with, like, the expression of, like, shame and fear. It's like, yeah, I guess you got tricked. Don't close the door, let me finish. Just, you got any milk duds? That wasn't even part of my set. I didn't even write that down. That's my bad. I should start saying that I believe in astrology, because I feel like that's a really cool excuse to blame your shortcomings on, like, the stars or, like, planets or, like, the specific interval of the year in which you were born. It's like, Melanie, you cheated on me with both of my parents in a threesome? Yeah, I was born in January, so my horoscope says I can't get enough dick. My hands are tied. Just like they were at the threesome. All right. I'd like it if astrology was like a legal defense. It's like in court. Like the lawyer's just like, Your Honor, clearly my client shot at the preschool with an M16 because it was indeed a full moon. I rest my case. And then the judge is like, yo, dude, that's the same night I slapped my wife. Are you a Gemini too? Let's go. Hey, we can't help but be violent. Geminis, am I right? Just look up at the night sky and I'm right there, you know. I saw this bag of chips that said, our only standard is deliciousness. And I'm like, that doesn't sound approved by the FDA. What are you hiding, bag of chips? And then I checked the ingredients and it said, don't worry about it, pussy. I'm like, okay. Something is going on here. I just like to imagine like there's like a health inspector from the government who's like touring the chip factory or whatever with the guy who makes the chips. And he's like, all right, don't call me a pussy, but what exactly do you put in the chips? Like, deliciousness. It's like, really, deliciousness? You're gonna go with that again? It's like, fine. I rub my scrotum on every single one. Every single chip. I stand on the conveyor belt with my pants down, just let it graze my fucking testicles. I only have one testicle, all right? So there's less surface area to be rubbed on, but I still do it. My testicle is lonely. His name is Melvin. Melvin the testicle. And scene. All right. I need an internship, man. I've been looking for one. It's been hard, dude. it's hard to get an internship when you have a criminal record. I don't have one. I'm just saying it's probably hard. It's you know, at the rate at which like companies are like rejecting me, they probably think that I do have a criminal record. They like look at my resume like JT Singh. There must be a rapist. Next. This one just says Jeffrey Dahmer. His experiences cutting up people and harvesting their organs. So he has medical experience. All right. I would suck dick for a Tesla internship. There's no question about it. It's kind of fucked up, man. Like, I just be in like a job interview and the guy's just like, you've answered all my questions, but can you answer this question? And it's like, all right, I've seen enough porn to know where this is going. I would intern for the KKK. maybe not intern, but I'd definitely go to at least one interview. I just like to be in that room, you know. It's like, all right, you have Microsoft Excel experience, so that's good. But you are of an inferior race. I don't know if you'd be right for our team. Can you do an unpaid internship? It's like, no, man, I don't know if I can. I really need the money. It's like, what? Are you telling me that you can't go 6 weeks unpaid, but we forced blacks to do it for 2 centuries? Those were the days, man. What makes you so high and mighty? You're all equally worthless. I'm like, all right, fine, I'll start on Monday, man. Just stop yelling at me. It's like, that's right, know your place. So I'm gonna end it there. Thank you guys. You guys are great.
Yo, what's up, everybody?
What the fuck? You gotta clean it back in. You're too excited. You gotta take it.
Oh shit, is this working now?
No, we broke it.
How many views does it take to fix the microphone?
It's all good, man.
3.
We're off to a great start.
Hello. Hello. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
How are you guys doing tonight? Thank you for coming out. Yeah. How many couples we got here tonight? We don't have that many people, but how many couples? Give me a whoa!
Alright, we got one.
Alright, I didn't really hear much of anything, which is what I expected, even if there were more people. Because I know most of you guys are engineers. And the only dopamine you guys have in your life is when you get a question right in MyLab Math. You're like, fuck, oh, the fucking came. All right, so how about this? How many single people we got here tonight? Woo! Yeah, so we got a ton of single. Yeah, well, yeah, all right. But since we do have a lot of single people here tonight, we should make some matches. What do you guys think? Yeah, see? Now, everybody's scared of love too, huh? On Halloween. Yo, what's up, man? Yo, are you single?
Hell yeah, I am.
Come on up.
Oh shit.
What's your name, buddy?
Charlie Bouchard.
Charlie, huh?
Nathan, stop using my name.
Yo, so tell me about yourself. What's your major?
My major? Oh, I'm one of those idiots in liberal arts.
Liberal arts, huh? Fuck, dude, that's rough.
I know, right?
Do you have a big dick, though?
No.
401k?
Do I need one?
Probably.
Oh.
It's all right, man. Well, what's your number?
My number?
Yeah, you want to say it out loud?
911.
Who wants to send 911 a dick pic right now? Thank you, man. You can sit down. Thanks, bud, for coming up.
I got you, man.
Well, has anybody been on Tinder? I'm sure everybody's been on Tinder, right? Because I feel like I've seen you guys there. But yeah, Tinder's a weird place, man. I've been on a lot of Tinder dates. I have had quite a few weird Tinder dates. My first date, I matched with this girl, and she was like, I'm getting a navel piercing. Do you want to come for support? And I was like, all right, I'll be there. So in 2 hours, I called my friend. We went to the mall she was getting a navel piercing at, right? I'm like, hi, nice to meet you, Claire. And like, she's here, I'm about to go get the thing, and you can like stand beside me and like hold my hand and stuff. And I was like, all right, that sounds like a pregnancy, but it's all right, I'll do it. So I stood beside her, right? And apparently it was like a little bit painful, and she was like, oh. And I was like, it's all right, Brittany. And she was like, my name's Claire. So that was hella awkward, and I never saw her again, which makes sense. I had another date. All right, so this date, we had talked for like a week, right? We planned the date, we planned everything, we got there, right? And we're having a great time, and we've had a few drinks and stuff, and we're just chatting, and it's going well. And she's like, Zain, I have to tell you something. And I'm like, what? She's like, I'm transsexual. And I was like, hold up, bro. You tell me this now? When I'm already fucking like invested? Like I spent money, I got out here, and we're already here? Like imagine guys, if she had told me this later in the night, right? If we were like at her place or at my place, and we were just taking our pants off, and I take out the condom and she takes it from me. Like how fucked up would that be? So she was like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, well, I'm already 2 drinks in, so let's go home. You know? So, trying new things out. No, I'm just kidding. We're still friends, but like, I did not want to get ass fucked that night. Yeah, so, I've also done this thing of a period in my life where I've just like swiped through Tinder just like randomly, just like reporting profiles that I thought that were fake. Because there's a ton of profiles on Tinder that's just like fucking like Mitch Daniels, or like I don't know, like there's like a girl with a picture of flowers, or like the moon or some shit. And I always like report those profiles, and I consider myself a kind of messiah of Tinder. Like Tinder should fucking pay me to do this, bro. Like I'm cleansing it, right? And I have seen some shit, guys, on Tinder, and we need to talk about this, right? First of all, girls, why the fuck do you guys have pictures with like 3 of your girlfriends, your first picture, right? And that's the only picture that you have, or like that's the first picture. Look, I can't tell which one it is, all right? And all of the rest of your pictures are with you with your friends too. You guys need to stop doing that shit. Yeah, I wasn't as funny as I thought I'd be, but you know what? I'm gonna keep going because I have time left and I planned this shit, so might as well do it. So, guys, can we all agree to stop sending dick pics? Because I don't know when in the history of ever that has ever fucking worked. Like ever. Charles, you ever sent a dick pic and it's worked?
Yeah.
That's a man doubting the size of his own dick, bro. He was like, yeah, alright. No, that was a guy. Yeah, so guys, we need to stop that. Never in the history of ever has a girl ever looked at a dick pic and said, the first thing she looks at when she's talking to a dude, and she's like, yeah, I'd bang this guy. No, dude. She wants to see your credit card statement. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding, dude. I'm just kidding. Women are way, 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 way more than that, man. And I don't think sending a girl a dick pic does right to women. Because, you know what? I don't think men and women are equal. That's fucking right. Now you guys are listening. I did say that though. I don't think men and women are equal. Because that's saying, and I'm paraphrasing from a comedian that I knew, that says that the highest a woman could aspire to achieve is being equal to a man. And I think women are so much more than that. You can be anything you want. And it's not just a testament to your will and your intelligence. It's a testament to human willpower. And when guys, when you send a dick pic, Charles, when you send a dick pic, you are denouncing that power to a woman. So the next time, listen, I'm talking, is your name Charles, buddy? So next time you send a girl a dick pic and you have your hand around your dick, I want you to take that same hand and instead of sending her a dick pic, reach into your wallet and send a picture of a credit card. Alright guys, that's my time.
Bienvenue, Power Bottoms. How's everyone Halloween doing? Alright, I can't see shit because glasses and a mask don't work well, so you know, Halloween's one of my favorite holidays. It really is. Fucking Jesus Christ. Alright. Because you got movies, you got costumes, people can be whatever the hell they want to be. But I just want to focus on the movies for a little bit, because one thing that you guys should know about me is I'm a little bitch.
Okay.
I'm a very jumpy person, and I also just love watching movies with people, which leads to some bad times during Halloween, like Insidious. Classic film, you know, a lot of people know it. What a lot of people don't know is that if you're a very jumpy person and you watch it, you can end up backflipping over a couch. And I don't just mean like you roll over the couch, I mean you roll over the couch and the couch falls. Which is not great when you're hanging out with someone that you're into. You know, it just totally kills the vibe when the couch lands on their arm. Hospitals are not sexy, I'm just gonna say that there. But what's even better though is just messing with people that are watching horror movies. Like I had some friends watching Sinister last year. Sinister, great movie for those of you that don't know. A ghost essentially is traveling and killing all of a family except for like the youngest child for some reason. And is shown through, you know, these movie reels. So this author's investigating it and ends up dying from it. But it takes a while for the first jump scare to come in. And that's all it is, it's all jump scares. So you're watching, and you're waiting, and you know it's gonna happen. But what I decided to do is I was doing homework while watching this, so I had my computer. So I muted the computer, and I went to one of my favorite sites. Non-orange YouTube. So I'm on YouTube, and as one does, I look up a classic, goat screaming. And you know, sitting there, unmuted, full volume, paused, just waiting. And I'm looking around, and the first jump scare comes, and no one jumps. I mean, I jump a little, but that's because I'm a bitch. No one jumps, and then I hit space, and all of a sudden you just hear, ah! When I tell you that this kid kicked the girl next to him, I don't mean like he kicked her shin. I mean this kid jumped so high, he kicked her in the face. He went from sitting to a kick to the face. Do you know how impressive, do you know how high you have to jump? Get that guy on the track team. Jesus. But, you know, I've slowly started to get more accustomed to being less of a bitch. You know, I've started watching more horror movies, I've started watching them alone. And so far I've only gotten one concussion from jumping in my bunk bed. You know, we're doing good, we're at 2 movies and 1 concussion. The first one being Halloween Town. You gotta start slow, alright? You gotta build. It's rule 1. And hey look, it's the ghost of my dad. Yeah, he left us about 17 years ago. He's not dead, he's just gone. Yeah, and so horror movies with friends are even better though, because for those of you that know superheroes, Spider-Man's a fucking teenager. We know this. We know this. So there's some fucking panel where he's like, yeah, I just talk constantly to not be scared. Which I found is a great way to go through haunted houses. Because I went through a haunted house a few years ago with some friends. It was my first haunted house, because again, little bitch, so I never did it. And they decided, hey, let's get the only single one in the group to go first for everything. Which is even better when there's a crawling portion and you're claustrophobic. Because, you know, there's definitely someone that's about to grab your ankle. And you don't know if it's your friend or someone that works there, but you know they're gonna get kicked no matter what. But, you know, we're going through, and I'm the first one through, and then we get to the clown section. I don't fuck with clowns. Like, I am a clown, I don't fuck with clowns. So I see this shit, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm going in the middle. So I get to the middle of our group, and we're slowly walking as a pack, and then everyone starts to run for some reason. I don't know why, but they start to sprint. Now, for those of you that can't tell from how I talk and act, I was a theater kid. My friends, surprisingly, football. Well, and football with a stick, you know, lacrosse. Which, you know, you wouldn't think they mix, but they do. So yeah, I ended up getting run over by my friends. And then the group behind us also ran over me. It got to the point that, like, one of the class was like, "You good? You good?" And that's how I woke up in the face of a clown. Thank y'all, good night.
Happy Halloween, motherfuckers. Since it's Halloween, I'm going to tell you guys a scary story. And it's fucked up and scary because it's real. Okay, so I fucked raw, which is something I never, ever do for obvious reasons. But I was very drunk, so I said, fuck it, what's the worst that can happen? So I do the deed, and I go home, and the girl texts me later, and we're having a conversation, so I say, I have an exam tomorrow, I'm going to bed. I went to sleep, and I woke up really fucked up, like really groggy and shit. Definitely had a hangover. And my memory is pretty shit. So I check my notifications, and I see that I have a Snapchat from the girl. Nice. I check my notifications and see that I have a Snapchat from the girl. I check the Snapchat, and it's a black screen that says, good luck. Oh. And I said, what the fuck is that supposed to mean? I had no idea. I had no idea that I had told her I had an exam the next day. And I started asking God, why me, why now? Because you'd really hate to catch some shit now. Like, okay, at 40, okay, that's cool, but now, in my prime? But it was a misunderstanding. You know, my memory came back to me. But man, I'm only 19 years old, and right now, two of my biggest fears are kids and STDs. And it really fucking sucks. I hope I get better with it when I'm older, but I really, really fucking hate kids. If anything, I am like the exact opposite of Michael Jackson when it comes to kids. Like, I fucking hate them. Like, if anything, I can consider kids as STDs. It goes AIDS, kids, herpes, and all the other incurable ones. And everything after that, I just don't give a fuck about. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, all right, let's be real. No one wants to get an STD. No one, fuck that. Especially not me. But if I were to get one, I would rather get some shit that does not kill you. Am I right?
That's fair.
Like, compared to being an athlete. Okay, let's say you catch gonorrhea, right? Gonorrhea is like a sprained ankle. You go to the doctor, you get it iced, and you're back in the game, right? But let's say you get herpes. That shit is like tearing your ACL. Your career just might end. Like, it's fucked up. Oh God. I forgot the rest of my set. Fuck me. Oh, it's all coming back to me. Could you imagine if motherfuckers play with STDs like they do tag? Like if the rules were changed and instead of you all having sex, you both keep it. Instead, the person with the most amount of STDs gives their STDs to the other person and they're cured. So motherfuckers are playing the game and shit. I'll tag, you're it. So you go to the doctor and see what you got. You see, I got herpes. You would have herpes, you dirty motherfucker. You, goddamn. Yeah, I remember in elementary, growing up the fat kid, and we would play tag, and they would always tag me because they knew there was no way in hell I was gonna catch anybody. So in this game, you tag the ugly guy because there's no way in hell he's gonna get laid, so he can't give that shit to anybody else. Could you imagine you tag a motherfucker and they say, hey, motherfucker, I was on base. Thanks for having me. I go by the name of Franko.
Randall.
Oh. So that's my costume. Just pretend I'm a cat. Yeah. I'm a cat person. And straight up, I hate dogs. Yeah, and then like, what kind of dumbass hate dogs? Yeah, that's me. And I have my reasons, because, I mean, firstly, dogs eat shit. This one right there. And they poop everywhere, right? So, my ex, yeah, I actually have a girlfriend, used to. I don't know how, She must be blind. It's not pick me over like all the guys. And she's a huge dog person. And one time, I saw her kissing a puppy. And I mean, 2 days ago, I just saw a puppy ate shit. And so I'm like, nah, like, just, that's over, relationship's over. And after that, I told her, like, never kiss me. Not my mouth, not my face, just not my head, not here. But you can kiss the other one, that's fine. So, yeah, and shoot, I'm forgetting things, man. Don't do drugs, guys. Makes you forget things. And oh yeah, I mean, I get it. Dogs are cute and nice, right? I mean, yeah, they are. But like, just think about it. They're kind of slutty. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, dogs, they get a stranger, pet them without any protection. Like, first time, no protection. And it's gonna catch something, I'm telling you. Like, and then, just, I mean, if I have a dog, and then just go out and then, a bunch of strangers, pet them, and come back and try to do it with me. It's gonna, get me sick with some kind of, disease, right? And then, dogs too, they like to have multiple strangers to pet them at the same time. With no protection. It's like having a gangbang with a bunch of strangers with no protection, right? And then it comes back to me. It's like, you wanna pet me? No, I don't want to touch you. Get away from me, man. And cats though, like, just think about it, cats are kind of hard, right? Like, cats are really hard, man. Have you guys seen how a cat walks? Like, cats are like the most bootylicious animals on earth. Like, they know how to shake their ass. And I'm a simple person, like, I see an ass and I fell for it. So I'm a cat person. And oh shoot, what else? Oh yeah, and then and cats don't mess around, like, they don't ask strangers to pet them. I mean, try to pet a cat, and you have fun with that. And I mean, cats are like those girls that are like hot, but like, they may be not very nice to you, but they don't go around, try to, touch some strangers with no protection. And dogs, on the other hand, though, they're just straight up bad bitches. Like, that's all I have.
Got a microphone for squirrels, apparently. Hold on, let me pick that up off the ground. Anyways, happy Halloween, ladies and gentlemen. I've come to you dressed as the local entertainer, Randall Kane. But if it's any consolation, I did go to Walmart this morning, try to find a costume, but I couldn't find men's clothing. Unless it's isolated within the woman's clothing, that's not very good prospects.
Anyone voting? Yeah. You know, I think as Americans, we can all agree that whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, it really doesn't matter who wins, because all owned by the banks and lobbyists. Yeah, that's right. Voting sucks. I hate voting. I'll never vote. Not once in my life. I'll never vote for any crony. Just wait, just you'll see. Wait. Everyone stop the show. What? Can it be? That's right. I'm Esquire, the sock puppet lawyer, and I'm here to teach you about voting.
No, that's why.
All right, guys, let's get serious here. We're going to learn about voting. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you have to have a plan. Okay, well, I don't have that. So, what's the plan, Esquire? Okay, step one, you have to find a voting location. Alright, I found one. It's right over there. Okay, what's the next step? Okay, the next step is you have to choose someone to vote for. Okay. I gotta choose someone to vote for. But Esquire, who do I pick? Okay, there's two parties. One is unambiguously good, and the other is unambiguously evil. But Esquire, which one's which? What do you mean, which one's which? You're not participating if you don't know. But Esquire, it sounds like you're preying on my intuition. It sounds like you're lying. Okay. But Esquire, what if I want to vote third party? No, you can't vote third party. That's not participating. But Esquire, is it really worth my time to participate? I mean, after all, after all, they're just gonna bomb Sudan. Anyways, it doesn't matter who you pick. What? You can't bomb Sudan. That's not in the Middle East. Well, it sounds like they're going to have to do some gerrymandering. What does it sound like? Yeah. Sudan's not in the Middle East. Not for long. What do you think of that, Esquire? Alright, my hand's getting sweaty. Goodbye.